Hello, and welcome to The Smut Show, a weekly podcast with your internet book bestie, where every week myself and a guest discuss books and mix in a little bit of life, pop culture, and everything in between. So sit back with your favorite beverage and let's chat. Hello and welcome to The Smut Show. I'm Neely and I am joined by Kailey Costa, she's been on before as a guest, and today she's my co-host. And she's KMC Reads on Instagram. If you don't already follow her, you absolutely should. She is my personal choice for people who give me book recs. But Kailey, hi, welcome.
Hi, I'm so glad to be back.
So happy to have you, Kailey, and I have a list of things to talk about today. We are organized. We are ready. But first, we will do ones and fives. Do you want to give me your 1 and 5 of the week?
Yeah.
Or month or year, whatever.
I really don't have a true one. I'm ready for spring, but I feel like that one's been used. In terms of fives, yesterday was Valentine's Day, and not to get all mushy-gushy, I'm not like a Valentine's girly, but my in-laws were like, do you want us to take the girls for a sleepover? So we said, absolutely. My husband and I, he made dinner. We ate at like 5:30. It was awesome. We watched a movie, had dessert. I was asleep, I think, at like 8:30.
What movies y'all watch?
We watched You've Got Mail.
I love it. That's one of my husband's like favorite movies. Like oh my God, Andrew loves You've Got Mail. We watched similar last night. My kids were here, but we watched People We Meet on Vacation, which I've now watched 5 times. This was his second time watching it. We are obsessed with it. And
do I need to give it another try?
Did you not like it?
I don't want to like Neely. Okay. I started it and was like, I was like, she's insufferable. And my husband was watching it with me. And he's like, didn't you read this book? And I was like, I don't remember her. I mean, that book, I read it like several years ago, but I was like, I don't remember getting this like annoying.
So I read it a long time ago too. I will say, so I have not read every Emily Henry book. I've only read 3 of them. And I really liked it. Like, I know people, I feel like with that book, and maybe with the movie too, people either really, really love it or they really, really don't. I am like pretty positive about the book. Like, I didn't not like it. I wouldn't count it as like a top 5 for me in any category, but I really enjoyed it. I love the movie, but it might be because I'm more so neutral about the book. And I feel like people who don't really like the movie are like very obsessed with the book or really hate the book.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed the movie, but I did not find her insufferable, but I also watched My Lady Jane and she was on that and I really liked that show.
Okay. So maybe I'll attempt it again. I'm an Emily Henry completionist. So like, I like
you've read them all.
Yeah. And I don't, again, this was
what is your favorite of her books? I know we're getting off topic here.
Oh gosh. See, it's like hard to keep them all straight because I don't feel like, again, it wouldn't make like my top 5 of all time. I think I really liked Book People. I will say the one I really didn't like was I think her last one that was like the Evelyn Hugo ripoff. I'm sorry.
I haven't seen that, or I haven't read that one. I really love Beach Read a lot. Beach Read is probably my favorite of her books that I've read.
Which couldn't tell you what happens in that one. Can you remind me? Is it the writers that go to like?
I think yes.
The house and they write and they're like trying to finish.
Unless I'm thinking of a different book. Yes, that is yes.
I like that one.
But again, like her books to me, kind of the same. Like they're all fine. Like,
yeah, enjoyable.
Yeah. But like weirdly forgettable, maybe.
Yeah, but like a quirky sense of humor. I'm like, oh, you'd be fun to like go have a drink with. But I think when we were watching You've Got Mail, circling back, it was just like, and my husband's like, they don't make them. I was like, they don't make them like this anymore.
They really don't. They really don't. And why do we not have Parker Posey in more things? Like, has White Lotus not told us more that we just like, I think Parker Posey is the key to making anything good. I've just decided.
It was just like Meg Ryan was so cute and it was like so wholesome.
She's so cute.
Like, on AIM. And I was just like, it was so great.
I mean, even though the basis of it is like a little bit cheating, but it's fine.
Right.
It's emotional affair. Whatever.
Right.
Like.
Right.
But it's fine. Do you remember though? Like a guy like Tom Cruise though could never be a leading man today. Like
Tom Hanks.
Thank you. Wow.
But like also Tom Cruise could never be.
But also Tom Cruise for different reasons. We just know too much about him. But yeah, like I just don't think like they would put. I'm trying to think of like modern day who I would compare him to, and I guess this isn't super modern because he's also getting up there, but like Paul Rudd, who I find like much more
Okay.
attractive. But you know what I mean? Like not like, oh my God, you're ripped, you're perfect, you're like fine, right? Like you're
Like
fine.
like a Jason Sudeikis. Like, but he's
Yes.
like kind of funnier. I see what you're
Colin
saying. He's not.
Jost. A Colin
Oh, well,
Jost.
I think he's
I
attractive.
love Colin Jost though. Like
Yeah,
put him in more stuff. Andrew
agreed.
and I like literally only watch SNL for Weekend Update purposes. Like we turn it on, we fast forward to Weekend Update, we watch Weekend Update, and then we're turned off. Unless
Yeah.
someone tells us there's a skit we have to watch, but we are Weekend Update stands. Sorry, give me your 5-star, or was that your 5-star?
That was my five. Just like a kid-free night. I went to bed so early, and then I woke up at like 5:30 and was like, I guess I'll work out
I
and
guess
have
I'll be up
uninterrupted
now.
me time. Right. So yeah, it was great.
My 5-star is probably just this weekend. We really didn't have a lot going on. Last weekend was insane. Like, I think my 1-star is just that I've been so tired all week because last weekend was nonstop. And then I felt like the week was nonstop. So it's just like by the time we got to the end of the week, I was like, I'm exhausted. And Friday was Liam's birthday. He turned 9 on Friday. So Friday was busy. And then Friday evening, we took him and 5 friends and did like, that was his birthday party. We went to Top Golf, which if you don't have a Top Golf
Cute.
in
Yeah.
your area, yeah, it's just a driving range essentially. And they ate and played some Angry Birds golfing game and it was fine. And then we did nothing yesterday and it was beautiful. We did
That's
nothing.
amazing. Are you
Andrew
still
got me
okay?
in
So
Charlotte flowers and it was really sweet. Yeah, and then he made a heart-shaped pizza last night and we watched people we meet on vacation and then went to bed early as well. And it was great.
love. Are you finding that you're as like the kids are getting older? Are you not having to do as many like kids' birthday parties, which is like my
Yeah, like
worst nightmare?
I hate them. I think Liam especially is getting to an age where most of his are like, sorry, are hopefully that will edit itself out. But I think Liam's getting to an age where most of his are like somebody will pick like 3 or 4 friends and do an activity, and I really enjoy that. And he's done quite a bit of it, but it's like the same little group of friends, which is nice. And then Charlotte, you know, she's in kindergarten, so I feel like we're still on the birthday party circuit there. But definitely hers are leaning more towards like all girl birthday parties. Like they're
Okay.
definitely both of them I feel like are kind of like gender split at this point where like Liam's are all like him and a bunch of, you know, 9-year-old boys and Charlotte's are a bunch of little girls. Whereas last weekend she had a birthday party that was a painting. It was like a painting,
Oh, cute. Yeah.
like instructional painting, if you
Mhm.
will, where they're like, this is what you're going to paint. And the girls were like, we'll take it under advisement. And, you know, took some liberties with
I love
it.
it.
It was really cute. So
Oh, that's good. I feel like moving out of like the preschool, I feel like there were so many birthday parties in preschool, and I don't know if it's just like the carpool line, like there's no mingling, but in elementary school, they have greatly decreased, and I'm not mad about it. Like you said, it's more like the close like friends, but not like
yes,
here's 20 random kids where I'm like, do you even like talk to this
we
person?
we did that last year with Liam. We did a video game truck, which was great in theory because the truck pulls up in front of your house. The whole thing is like they literally go
Wow.
inside this like trailer and it's like a wall of video games of like screens and every like Nintendo Switch, whatever the I don't even know what video games exist anymore. Whatever cool systems are around Xbox. Can you tell I
Right.
don't play video
I
games?
was
I'm like,
like,
I don't know.
like a Game Boy
Sega,
Advance, like isn't that what? Yeah.
a Sega Genesis, a Nintendo 64. No, so they did that, and then I was like, this will be great. They're just contained, and then we'll have pizza outside and be fine. Except I didn't account for the fact they'd all have to go to the bathroom at some point. So they were all in my house anyway, and I was like, great. But it was kind of the same thing where I'm like looking around, I'm like, I don't even know if Liam likes all these kids. Like these are
Right.
kids
Which
he
sounds
picked.
right.
Sorry.
It's
Anytime
okay.
somebody's at our front door, that's what the ring does. And this is, we'll get to Nancy Guthrie in a minute. And this is why I'm like, we would
It's
know.
perfect segue. Perfect
Um,
segue.
Okay, but what I was going to say is Liam is totally fine doing these like little pick a couple friends. I do feel like Charlotte would like that better because she likes small groups versus like large groups. So I'm really hoping we can be done with like big birthday parties, but we'll see. I think we're done with him
Yeah.
with big birthday parties. He was like, I'll take the cash. I was like, as you should.
That's what we started I started negotiating with my girls. I said, listen, it is, I'm like naming the price. And I'm like, we could instead go to like to Barnes and Noble. Like they're such like they love like a Barnes and Noble trip. I'm like, we could go get a pedicure and then go to Barnes and Noble. You would still get your birthday presents and I'm still saving like several $100s.
Yeah.
So, like
or like
so we've
have one friend and let's go like do a fun, let's like go to a movie and then like go get ice cream. Like we don't need to do a big plus at this point. I'm like, you've done all the things. We've had all the different kinds of birthday parties there are. And my kids' birthdays and Christmas are also within 3 months of each other. We have Charlotte's birthday, Christmas, Liam's birthday, and I'm like,
that's same.
And then Liam's birthday is the day before Valentine's Day, and so Valentine's comes, and I'm like, I am done.
You're like all holiday out.
Okay, well, what have you been what's a book you've read lately? Or a show you've watched, or I mean, we're gonna talk about that. So maybe a book you've read.
I have a very spicy hot take. Are we going like book hot takes? Do you want to know what I just read and finish?
I love a book hot take.
You love her.
Huh.
I read Emily Giffen's new one.
I just got approved for it 3 minutes before we got on this. Did you not like it?
I need you to read it immediately.
Okay.
I didn't. It started strong and I thought the premise was going to be great. And it's like something that I think you would like, the like kind of childhood friends to lovers to enemies.
Oh, it's my favorite,
Right. But without giving any spoilers, there's like the plot device that like brings them back together. I'm like, this is very overdone.
I feel like books are almost original. Do you know that I still haven't read? So after all of that, I still haven't read the Carly Fortune book.
Of course, I'm not surprised.
I'm like, okay, I like to consider myself a book hoarder, where like I do this thing where I'm like, I need to have it, and then I'm like afraid to read it because I'm like, I'm going to read it and then I'm going to be done with it. And so I've been reading for the past week. I've also not been reading because if I sit down to read, I immediately fall asleep because that's how exhausted I've been. But I'm just finished Spencer Pratt's memoir.
It's on my list. How was it?
It was so silly. Very few things, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that like one of my favorite things is a D-list celebrity memoir. It's like a weird guilty pleasure I have, and I'm really particular about the ones I read. Like I won't read all of them. I have to have an interest in the person, right? And The Hills is my all-time favorite reality show. Like I've watched it start to finish probably 100 times. It is like my comfort show. Some people's comfort show is Gilmore Girls, mine is The Hills. And so I was really excited to read it because I'm just so fascinated by him as an individual. Like I'm so fascinated by the fact that I actually think he's kind of a genius and has managed to stay relevant for like 20 years without being a huge quote unquote like influencer. And he talks about in the book about how he's like, I discovered the Kardashians, which is like, I mean, because, Brody and him were like childhood best friends. So he's like still pissed about the fact that he didn't like somehow Ryan Seacrest himself into producing the Kardashian show, but also about the fact that like all of the reality show influencers were like just a hair past The Hills, and just how the timing, like they would have made so much money being influencers if it was like 5 years later. But it's just funny, like hearing about. Do I listen to what? The podcast?
Oh, sorry, no. Did you listen to it or did you read it?
Oh, I read it.
I think I would I just love, especially when they narrate it. Like, did Jessica Simpson's? Like, I listened to that.
I listened to Jessica Simpson's, and I also listened to Barack Obama's. Not a D-list celebrity. I just love him, so I had to listen to his book. And I could listen to him like read me like he could read me anything, and I would be like, it's me and my best friend Barack just on walks. I did listen to Jessica Simpson's, and I was captivated. I don't know that I've ever been more captivated by a book from a celebrity in my life. Like her story was wild,
and she spilled the tea. She like was she told I was like, I'm here for it.
Britney
Thank you.
Spears was great too. If you
I know,
Did you not
Brittany.
like it?
Yeah.
It just made me
I did
sad
like it.
though. Britney's was. Did you see that she like last week sold sold her whole catalog?
No,
She
I
sold
gotta worry
for
about, I just,
$250 million or something.
Brittany. You know whose I read was, did you watch Friday Night Lights? You're a Texas girl, like
Oh
Minka
yeah.
Kelly. Did you
Yeah.
read Minka Kelly's? That
Uh
is one.
I didn't
Lila,
read it, but I used to. It's not a podcast anymore. They pivoted and have a different podcast now, but I was really into Celebrity Memoir Book Club. Their new podcast is called Good Noticings, and I still listen to that. But they did an episode on Minka Kelly's, and I listened to it, that
it was
episode.
really good, but also sad. Like anything about like where she came from and like what
Oh,
she went
yeah.
through. So it's just wild. Like
Did
how
you read Bethany Joy Lenn's The Dinner with Vampires
I think I started it
about
and
her
then
cult?
ended up getting, yeah, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Did you read it?
But oh yeah, but no, I listened. That was one I
Okay.
listened to. My all-time favorite celebrity memoir though is Tori Spelling's. It's so good.
I have
It's
not
so
read it.
good.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I had like a vested interest because I was a big 90210 fan, like huge 90210 person. Love Tori Spelling. She has like 5 memoirs. There's like a series of them, and I've read every single one. And I've read the first one multiple times because it's like a comfort read for me because
That's
it's so
amazing.
silly. They're just so silly. Anyway, that's what I read. I've read no quote unquote real books.
No real books. That was like
No
the
real
last like
books.
romance I read. You'll see, like I read a good mix of like I'll read a romance, but I'm like, well, I can't read 2 romance back to back because then I compare
Oh
them.
no,
So,
I
so
have
I'll
to.
read like a thriller or like even more like commercial fiction or even some like literary. But that was
Have
like the
you read The
last.
Correspondent?
I DNF'd it, but everybody loves it. I just
Okay,
thought it was like
I haven't
very
read it.
slow.
Can we talk for just a second about books that are made a big deal by people? Like, I would put
Tell
that
me.
in the same category as Where the Crawdads Sing, which I DNF'd about halfway through, watched the movie, and also DNF'd because I was like, I've never been more bored by a story in 2 forms in my life. I hated that so much. And I know the twist, and I know like I know
Sure.
how it ends. I just anytime a book like that, and now I see this with The Correspondent, is like so everybody's like, oh my God, have you read it? Have you read it? Have you read it? And everybody's reading it and it's everywhere. I'm like, I already can't read this because now I'm just assuming it's gonna be terrible.
I feel like it gives you
So
the ick.
it gives me the ick.
You
But
I
but I
Tell me.
find that people do that with Kristen Hanna books and I really like those. So
Yeah. I love her.
well,
I loved Crawdads. But
oh no, can't
the
do it.
the correspondent, I just was like, I personally, as a 30 something, don't really relate to
Resonate.
or like
Yeah.
need to be reading about what is she, a septuagenarian, like, and again, I think it's wonderful to read other perspectives and put yourself in people's shoes, of course. I just was like, I was like, oh, this is like kind of slow. But people have loved it.
If
So I'm
people and if I am not like brought in by a book almost immediately, it is very hard for me. Like, and I will, because I have to mention it every podcast. This is why I loved You with a View so much because it was like the first sentence I was like, well, I'm hooked. Like, I just, I have to be hooked within a chapter or 2 or I can't continue. I will continue, but I will already be annoyed by it. And I felt like that was Meet Me at the Lake. And I've loved every other book Carly has done. But I thought Meet Me at the Lake was complete hot garbage. And that
Was
was
that
the
her
second
last one?
book. And that was the second one. No, the last one was One Golden Summer and it was amazing. And I
Which was
loved it.
great.
And I
Oh, Mimi
cried.
at the
And I
Lake, that
kicked
was the
my
boy
feet.
with the cardigan, and he's like,
It was so
I did not
bad.
like Mimi at the Lake. It was not
It was,
not for me.
she's like fixing up the inn or redoing the like, it was so bad. It was so bad. And I was so mad about it because I loved Every Summer After. And I remember like being so excited for Meet Me at the Lake. Like, oh my God, she has another book out. And I was like, this is terrible. But One Golden Summer was so good. And
Agreed.
I finished it on a plane and was quite literally kicking my feet, like
Yeah,
in the
that
plane seat.
giddy.
It was just,
Have you I was thinking of you because I was like, well, she
loved it.
brings up You with a View. We have to segue to
all of it.
Have you I meant to I don't know if I sent it to you, but Jessica Joyce put out a whole this is old.
Oh.
The like it was on her Substack, I think like a year ago. It was basically like I have such writer's block. I'm totally
Hmm.
paraphrasing, but she's like, I can't.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So
and
please like don't ask me.
she went ghosty on social media for like over a year. And I get it. Like I feel like when you have a book come out and people really like, I feel like the pressure to continually have book ideas and
Sure.
have them meet the standards that people set for you. I mean, like look at someone like Robin Lee who wrote a great book and is like it's been years. I mean,
Right.
and her second book is just now coming out. And I
Right.
do feel like we live in a world where like especially there's a lot of like authors like I'll use like Megan Quinn for an example who comes out with like 3 books a year or like an Abby Jimenez or people like that who are just like it's like
Right.
constant books coming out. And I'm not saying every one of them is great by any means. I'm just saying like people are like clamoring for your next book. And I know with trad published authors it's a lot slower, like a Jessica Joyce where it's like you're or an Emily Henry where it's like you're not getting multiple a year. You're like lucky if you get one a year.
And even one a year is insane
It's
to write a book,
insane.
to like do multiple drafts,
Insane.
have it edited, do everything. And that's why I'm sure, I mean, she's a Berkeley author, so I can only imagine when she sees Emily Henry, Carly Fortune. I'm trying to think who else has
Well,
been
and
like
like
Berkeley, just
and
cranking them out.
Emily Giffen isn't a Berkeley author, but like
No,
her books are not every year. Like she
no.
is like a 2 to 3 year, and I feel like it makes sense. Like, and I've known her forever, and she's lovely and one of the nicest people. But when we had her on the podcast, I mean, she was like, "Yeah, like I went through a divorce and like these other things," and it's like, so we don't know what's happening in authors' personal lives. Where like you might have writer's block for this reason or that reason, or just because like you've had this one really great idea and you did it and you're like, well, shit, I can't. I'm like, now
Yeah.
I have to come up with other books. But I've loved both of her books and her novella. I thought all 3 were great. She announced the other day her book that's coming out in 2027, and I almost fell on the floor. I was like,
Oh,
oh
good.
my,
Okay, I
like,
haven't seen that.
I told her
Good.
I'll wait till January of 2027 before I start requesting
Before you start stalking
copies,
the
before I
Berkeley
start
publicist.
getting, oh no, I mean, I will go directly to Jessica for this. I will just be
Yeah.
like, hi, I need your book.
Please. Please and thank
And I
you.
say it in the most loving way possible. But yeah, I love her Substack. If you're not following her on Substack, listeners, she is one of my favorite author Substacks that is out there. And she's so real on it. Like, just real about life, real about author struggles, real about everything. And I just think she's good peeps. So, highly suggest following it. Okay, what do we want to talk about first? I'm going to let you pick. She's looking at her notes. She's so like,
I know, I'm like, where do we even start? Did you watch, okay, we obviously we have to discuss Tell Me Lies, but did you watch Heated Rivalry?
oh yeah, I've seen it twice. I
Do we need
watched
to
it,
like,
I finished it, and then I watched it again. And I was like,
do we need to do a
it's
breakdown?
we can do a breakdown. It was quite literally like a warm hug, and I don't know how else to describe it. Went into it. Okay, so I didn't start it when it first started. There were probably
Neither
4 or
did
5
I.
episodes out, but I was seeing it on TikTok, and I was like, is this like a real show? Because I didn't read the book or books. Like I
Neither
haven't,
did I.
and so I didn't know anything about it. And it wasn't something like a lot of the shows where it's like very heavily talked about beforehand. So I'm like, I don't really know what this is, but like, okay, if everyone's saying to watch it, I'm easily swayed. So I started watching it, and it took me the first episode, I was like, okay. And the second episode, I was like, and I'm here.
Yes. The first episode I watched, and my neighbor, I watched it like within the last month when everyone had that big ice storm across the mid-Atlantic. My husband was out of town for 2 weeks.
We
I
had
was
one
alone
here
with,
too, by the way. It was
so it was, yeah,
awful.
it was not good. But I was like, you know what? He would never like sit there and watch this with me. So I was like, I'm going to treat myself to HBO. I'll do a month. I'll do Heated Rivalry because now is the time to watch it.
Do
Same. I
the
watched the
Pit
first
if you still
episode.
have it, because it's on
The
HBO and
Pit.
it's so
Oh,
good.
I know. That's on my
No.
list too. I was like, not sure after the first episode. I was like, this, okay, all right. And my girlfriend was like, no, keep going. And we had like obsessed. Loved it so much. And it
I
was
know one of
just,
my friends tried to watch it. She was like, it's very racy. I was like, just get through the first 2 episodes. It's just get through. I was like, you just got to power through. You got to power through that stuff. If that's not like your thing, it's my thing. But if it's not your thing, you got to power through. It was so delightful.
it was
Like,
so good. And just like the talent. And I think I can't tell them like, but whoever plays Ilya, like the fact that he's from Texas, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
whole like the Russian accent and him speaking like fluent Russian. And apparently, oh my gosh, when he's like on the phone with Shane and Shane's like, just say it in Russian then and I'll just like be here for you. And he's like telling him everything. And apparently I heard there was I forget what they're called. Not an intimacy coordinator, but basically like someone that's like Russian fluent, whatever, like a dialect coach basically.
Oh, yes.
And the director was like, how much of that can we use? Like after his like his monologue was over.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, all of it. I was like, what a stud.
I
And
feel
they
like
had like 2 weeks to like prepare this. They did not have like there was not a long like lead up for him getting into like character.
I feel like those guys are going to have a Chase Stokes level explosion
I hope
of
so.
fame. I never watched Outer Banks, so I don't know if it was the same kind of thing. I think I tried multiple times to watch Outer Banks, and I think I'm too old to get into it at this point.
My stepdaughter
Um,
watched it. I was like, this is
but
your
like I
thing.
tried, and I was like, sure, but I feel dirty. Even though I know Chase Stokes is 30 years old, and I absolutely can feel like he's an attractive man, but it just felt no,
Yeah.
just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
But man, Heated Rivalry, like it's crazy to me how successful it became too, because I feel like it's not, I don't know what's going on with shows like that right now. Like, I don't know if, because Tell Me Lies, just to kind of like tie that in, wasn't that successful the first season. Like, I watched it, I was super into it. I got other people into it because I had read the book when the book came out and watched the first season. But I feel like only now, this season, has it becoming like crazy successful. And so it's interesting with something like TikTok. And I do think a lot of it is TikTok. I do think a lot of success for stuff like that comes from TikTok because of how the TikTok algorithm works. And it's like if you watch one video, that's your whole feed. And so I don't know. What do you think about that?
So I was listening to Bad on Paper because they were also talking about like why this really like took off the way it did. And was it like the romance fans and what did they say? It was the first it was like straight men didn't really have a role in this like at all.
Yeah.
And that was like where the success of it came from. But yeah, I think it just really like I don't know, we just needed some hockey in our lives. And
We
I
needed some
think
hockey in our lives. Yes.
but it was also so like you said, and I think somebody, had like the juxtaposition of like the very first episode to like even like 4, 5, and 6. It was so much less like physical and so much more like intimate and emotional.
And it was just really heartwarming to see that struggle, like that internal struggle. And I felt like they portrayed that so well. Have you seen the memes now that's like every time somebody in sports is getting into a fight, someone's like, I wonder if they're fucking. Like,
It's amazing. Yeah,
um, but it's funny because you mentioned like we needed some hockey in our lives. Are you gonna watch The Deal?
I would love to. I have not read the books. I think I have a couple on my shelf.
Oh, don't. They're not
So,
good. I mean,
no. Oh, okay.
they're okay. Like they were the first hockey romances I read, and I don't think they could ever get written the way they're written then. I don't think they would get written now 11 years later
Okay.
just because there's just like a lot of stuff in it where you're like, that wouldn't
Okay. Not
no.
2026
No, but
vibes.
I'm very
Okay.
excited for the show. I'm very excited for both that and the Every Summer After adaptation show, which they
Mm.
renamed to Every Year After. But I'm nervous
Oh,
because I'm like,
interesting.
please don't ruin it. Yeah, have you not seen that?
No. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe I saw, but she's had like several adaptions, right? There's been several things that have come out
for
about her,
Carly,
right? No, maybe that's the one I saw. You're way more up to. I watch way less TV,
I don't watch
so
as much TV as people think. I just am on TikTok a lot. So
you
I
just see
feel
it there.
like my attention span is TikTok attention span at this point.
Okay,
Like I can
that's
take a
fair.
3-minute clip. I mean, Andrew and I did watch like 10 hours of Nancy Guthrie coverage the other day. But other than that, I mostly just don't have that attention span for TV. I'm kidding. It wasn't 10 hours. I just, the
It
look
just
on
felt
your
like
face,
it.
you were like, that is
I was
really
like, hey,
aggressive.
you know what?
Okay. Back to Heated Rivalry. I know they're gonna make a second season, but it
Can't
has like a
wait.
different focus, right? Like it's different.
I
Aren't,
thought it was okay. So what was kind of confusing, the first book in this series is Kip and what's his name? The barista and Scott Hunter, right? That's their story, I think. Like
is
that's
it?
actually the first book, I think. I like looked all this up. I should know this though. I didn't think it was like because it was one and two, and then I thought the second book was when they get God, people are like, you're so like you don't even know. I probably should just look. Um Kip has his own book though with Scott in the series. The Game Changers series.
Okay.
So maybe that's the third one. I have to look. I have not read them, but there's another book with Ilya and Shane. Okay, so Heat of Rivalry is Game Changers number 2. So I'm not crazy. Yes, Game Changers number 1
Okay, because I was
is
about to say I don't think it was the first book, so I'm not.
no Game
I'm
Changers number 1. You see,
curious.
he's got the smoothie on the
Oh,
cover. Do you see it? Game Changer. That's the very first
okay.
book.
How many books are there?
This says 6. Okay, so book 6, The Long Game. I think that's the next book with Ilya and
Are we just
Shane.
going completely out of order here? Okay.
That's
All right.
what I was
It's an
gonna
interesting
read.
approach. Um, I have not read these. Have you read the Chloe Walsh books? The
Or
like,
like Binding 13, and
yes.
they're on my
I
list.
haven't read those either. Also on my list, which never ends. But I just saw that they're adapting that too. But that's
Oh.
another one that's like a bunch. I think they're calling it just like the Boys of Thomason or whatever.
Hmm. Okay,
Because
I'm
it's
here
like
for it.
several people. I don't know what's happening. Okay, should we switch over to Tell Me Lies talk?
Yes.
I'm so stressed about the finale.
Wait. Okay, so this is like spoiler free, or I can talk spoilers, right?
Yeah, I mean, guys,
At this like
as of airing, the finale will have aired today or is out today. So it
right, but
has
we
been a
haven't
full
seen the
week.
finale, but we're talking up
No,
to episode, the penultimate episode is
7.
what we're
Yeah.
discussing. Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
Evan is such a douche
I hate
for
him.
he like picked her up from the train station. He's like, "Oh yeah, your mom was really drunk." And I was like,
That's
"You are such
You
an
got her drunk.
egotistical, like insecure, like you oh,
Why would
he
he go to
sucks."
Oliver for advice? Why would you go to a man who is sleeping with an underage child? She's a child. She's 17. She's a baby.
I think he
She's
was
a
just like, wow, you
baby.
have such a chokehold on Brie, though. Like, how do I get that chokehold on Brie? Like, I think that's kind of what he wanted because he's like twisted.
Bree's
I
face when
just,
Bree's face when she found out Pippa and Wrigley had sex.
and I was like, Wrigley, just say no.
Do you feel like
And
I've seen some discourse about this on the internets? People calling what happened like kind of rapey with Pippa, like kind of forced. I mean, yes, he could have said no. He's bigger. He could have pulled away, but like she's kind of like forcing him in a
did
way.
she like emotionally
She
manipulate him?
manipulated him. Yeah.
And the whole time, she's been pretty like, I mean, she's been like the least annoying, I think. Then I was like, Pippa, you're just mad because Diana wants to go to Stanford and isn't like paying attention to you. How dare you use Wrigley when like you haven't even given really two shits about him the whole season?
I
And
know.
now, like, so I was very annoyed with her.
I was very annoyed with her for both of them because, yes, her and Diana just started dating. Like, why would you not understand why she wants to get away from Steven? Of all people, with how much she hates Steven, she should be like, I totally get it. You want to
Right.
go to
And
Stanford's a great college. We have legit just started dating
they're not even
5
like
minutes
dating, like they're
ago.
hooking up. Like she's still technically with Wrigley. So she's like cheating on Wrigley with Diana. And they've like hooked up a few times and she thinks they're gonna like define the relationship and she's gonna like stay here. I'm like, you haven't even left your boyfriend, really. Like he dumped you,
I
but you were not gonna leave him.
She should have said to Wrigley, like, hey, like, totally, we are best friends. Like, it bothered
Right.
me so much in that moment that she wasn't like, you are my best friend. Like, and just like, or she could have even been honest with him and been like, hey, like, I don't even think he would have been that mad.
No. I wish she had handled that differently. And I don't know if it was like an emotional maturity thing or like she didn't want to be alone, but I was like, well, you're not alone because like you have Diana. So I'm like, I don't get why. I don't know if Wrigley's like her like safety blanket. I just was kind of surprised and I kind of thought she was gonna be like, you know what? I agree. we're feeling
Okay.
more like brother, sister, like.
So in the future episodes, like the future timeline, the
Right, the wedding.
2015, and yes, in the first episode, which is the engagement party, Wrigley is like knocking stuff over and like acting crazy, and Pippa's like, it's not funny if you're the one who has to clean up his messes. Well, at the wedding, he seems perfectly together. So I'm like, did we like I obviously I don't think the writers started the show being like, we're gonna get Bree and Wrigley together. Like I feel like this was just like, oh, okay. Like, but it's interesting to go back because I'm like, they like people are unrecognizable in both timelines at this point. Like the decisions people have made in both timelines, I'm like, what is happening? Like mostly
I
Wrigley
don't
is
know.
unrecognizable in the 2015. From the engagement party to the wedding. Like it's like two different
Yes.
people.
And I don't know
And
if that was just, yeah, they couldn't, the discrepancy, they couldn't really like meet them in the middle. And it was like, they're like, oh, well, nobody will really notice. Like, we're just going to kind of have them like this. But I don't know how they're going to wrap it up in one episode.
surely they're going to come back for a fourth season. Like, I mean, she didn't say like there's definitely no way. She said like it wraps, like paraphrasing. She was like, season 3 ends where like it could be a good ending. Like it'd be fine. She's like, but like we could also do a season 4. Part of me is like, I hope it ends here because I worry when shows do like a fan service another season, it's never good. It's always bad. And you're always kind of like, shit, you should have just ended it because now you've like gone too far. Gilmore Girls, I'm talking to you. And A Year in the Life, which I think is like, I know that it's the original writers. I don't even take it as canon. I pretend A Year in a Life didn't happen and the show ended after season 7 because I can't
You're like,
handle.
I'm done.
It's so bad. Like, I don't know if you're a Gilmore Girls person, but it's so bad that I can't even describe as like such a hardcore from day one Gilmore Girls fan what watching that did to me. I was also very pregnant when it came out, and I was
You're
like,
like, the hormones are not. I just don't know. Because I would say overall this season is fine.
I think people are too hard on it. It's not bad. Like
It's fine. I'm not loving it. I feel like I loved like 1 and 2
season
more.
2, season 2 has probably been my favorite with Leo, who, sorry, not sorry. I liked Leo.
It's just, I don't know how they're gonna like land the plane, and so we will see. I don't know if I need like a 4th season, because if it's like this with just like random, like everyone's kind of like a hot mess even more. I don't know. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think? Do you think Steven has a copy of the tape?
No.
I need
What
to,
I think is, I don't think Steven has a copy of the tape. I think Bree
you think he
releases
gave
the
it to
tape.
her?
I think he gave her the tape. I truly do. I think he saw,
Okay.
and I could be wrong, obviously. Like, I had to make a whole TikTok saying that I eat my words because I made one TikTok saying there's absolutely no way that is Wrigley calling Bree. And then I had to make a TikTok saying I was wrong. And now I'm apparently into this relationship. But this is what I think is going to happen in the final
Tell
episode.
me.
I think, by the way, if you're listening to this today, it's out. So we'll see. We'll come back and we'll see if I was right. We're recording again tomorrow. So we'll talk about it. But I think Bree releases the tape. I think because at the end of the last episode, she's like, oh, Evan straight up lied to me. Him and Lucy, like she puts it together. She's like,
Right.
okay, they were together. She takes his phone. I don't know what she does. I'm assuming she goes and sees that Lucy called, and in her head is like, oh, they've been fucking this whole time. Okay. Then I think because Bree is she's very impulsive. We saw her send that picture to the professor, the selfie of her and girl whose name I can never remember, who's 17. Like, she's just an impulsive girly pop here. And I think she's going to go to Lucy's room because Lucy has come in. She's like, Steven had this tape to hang over me. It's in my room. I'm surprised she wasn't like, it's on my dresser under like the blue cup
Under
or
my
something.
pillow.
I think Bree's going to get it. I think she releases it not knowing what's on it because she thinks it's like a sex tape of her and Evan. I don't think she realizes what it is when she releases it. I think that's why she says to Lucy before the wedding, I'm the worst person you know. I think Steven outs it at the wedding that Bree is the one who released the tape. I think once the tape's released, I think Lucy gets kicked out of school. So she doesn't get to go on her summer abroad because now or semester
Right.
abroad because they made a point for us to find out she got into that program. I'm like, she's not
Right.
going though. I don't know. That's what I think happens. I don't think we're going to get everything wrapped up. Like, I know people are like, I want to know, how did Lucy and Max get back together? We're never going to find that out because it's irrelevant because they're not together anymore. Like, he broke up with her before the wedding because he saw that she wanted Steven to come see them having sex in the hot tub. So, like, I think there are just questions we're not going to get answers to. And I think we kind of have to go into it being like, do we need, like, I don't need to know that.
No,
like,
no, there's other things I'd know. I'd much rather know.
I don't even need to know how Pippa and Diana get back together. Like, I don't need to know that. They're together. They're happy. Like,
sure. Yeah.
I need to know how Steven and Lydia get together. I will be upset
Agreed.
if we don't figure that out.
And I want to know.
That.
So even if Bree, like, even if she realizes that Lucy and Evan cheated together, what is making her marry him?
Okay. Also, I think it's the conversation she had with the professor, Marianne. I think when Marianne says you need to marry somebody who loves you more than you love them, I think Bree, like, really took that to heart and was like, you know what? I need a stable life. Nothing in my life has ever been easy and good. And I think she might love Wrigley, but it's like Wrigley, you know, he's like,
even though Evan cheated, like, does she really think that Evan loves her more? Like,
I do.
And maybe, yeah, and maybe again, these are fictional characters. Like, maybe in the coming years, he, like, quote unquote proves it. But I'm like, do you really think he's, like, shown up for you?
I do want to know what has happened in these 8 years, though. It's like, okay, like, will we find it? We've only seen, I mean, because they're not even a full 2 years into college. This is like the second half of their sophomore year, like spring break-ish almost, maybe, because we've had Valentine's Day. So it's like,
right,
we're probably coming up on spring break. Like, so what happens between end of sophomore year and 2015? Like,
and is it really the end of Lucy and Steven? Like, really? Like,
I think we've seen that it's not, because they had sex the morning of the wedding. So I think, like, and she
did
says in the very first, she says in the first episode when Pippa walks in and her and Bree are in there at the engagement party, and she's like, are you talking about Steven? And Lucy's like, it's fine. It's been 4 years. So 4 years would be
2011, right?
That it was like still, and that's the thing is, I'm like, do they remember that they said that? Like,
interesting. I meant to text you and I got sidetracked, but I would, like, at the end of the episode, maybe it was like 5 or 6, where she goes back to her room and she puts on the video of him be like, you're such a, you know, like, all this, and she's like masturbating to it. I was like, girl,
therapy in a way that, like,
I was actually, like, laughing hysterically at that.
People were like so uncomfortable by that. I was like,
oh, that was hilarious.
All I see, my favorite is when, like, a psychologist will get on TikTok and they will name all of the, like, psychological disorders that each character has, and I'm like, yes. But what I think is interesting about this show in regards to something like therapy, and this is like me going like way deeper than probably the writers are thinking, is like therapy was not talked about then, not in the way that it is now. And so, like, in the book, did you read the book? I forget.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the book, if you remember, because people are always like, what happens to the book? I'm like, we have gone far away from the book at this point. Like,
far away.
Like, we're so far away. I was like, first of all, these other characters are like merely side characters. They do not have any of their own plot points. So, like, we're getting too excited about it. But similar thing does happen at the wedding, where she does kind of have that realization of like, oh, like, you're just, like, you're not going to change. You're not changing for your fiance, who isn't Lydia, by the way. And you're not changing for, like, you're not going to change. And there is no justice for Macy in the book either, because people are like, will there be justice for Macy? And I'm like, but there wasn't in the book. Lucy figured it out in the book, but nothing happened. Like, because in the book, Macy is not at college with them. Macy is like her childhood friend who died in a car accident. And later she figures out that Stephen was in the car with Macy and that he was the one driving. And this is like, do you remember that? Like, it's...
No, I'm like, do you just remember all this? Like, this book was written, like, when did this come out?
I read it again. I read it again like a year ago. I read it again after season 2. But yeah, it was, but essentially, like, there isn't justice for that. Like, I think people are going into this finale really thinking they're going to get everything wrapped up in a bow. And I'm like, that's just not first of all, it's not how the book was. Everything wasn't wrapped up in a bow. And it's not a love, like this is not a happily ever after kind of thing.
No, not at all.
We're not watching like a rom-com. Okay. This isn't
right.
this isn't Don't Cry Shop Girl. Like this is like people are like, surely Bree and Wrigley end up together. And I'm like, she just got married.
Right. She's dancing to her first dance with Evan.
Like they are telling you that doesn't get, like, they're not together. She married someone else. Like, it's baffling to me to watch, like, to see some of these people talking about it. Like, I'm like, are we watching two different shows? Like, they're not going to wrap everything up for you. They're like, sorry, go ahead. What were you
No, this is kind of when we were talking about Wrigley and Bree. So at the wedding, when they're both like pining over each other, and he's like, I always want to dance with Pippin, pretend you're not the one, like, I'm in love with her, whatever he says. And then Steven is watching them. He's watching Wrigley.
He grabs the phone.
And he sees it and then grabs the phone, and you and I talked. I'm like, who doesn't have a passcode on their phone in 2015? Like, lock that up. Do you think he's going to, like, do anything with that?
Oh, I do. I do. Because it's Steven. I don't know if he'll do something, like, in front of everyone. I think...
I wonder
do think he's going to... I don't know.
Come to fruition? Like, but then it's like, why? What's the point? I feel like he's so psychopathic. He saves it for later.
But I think people think that, like, the theories where people are like, oh, this is a setup, they're all going to take Steven out. And I'm like, guys, no, they're not. Like,
that's not the vibe.
Maybe I'm wrong. Like, I could be wrong. More things could happen. But, like, I think we have to remember, like, and we as in, like, everybody watching this show, what show you're watching. You're not watching a show where it's all going to get wrapped up. You're watching a show full of really problematic people doing really problematic things. And a guy like Steven, like, we've all known a guy like Steven in real life. Like, nothing about, like, they just keep going. They just keep on keeping on. Like,
no, it's not going to be justice for Lucy or justice for whom, like, all of Steven's victims. Like, there's no...
What I think, Pippa and Diana, first of all, I still don't understand why Steven was invited to this wedding. Like, period, point blank. He's not a groomsman. Which is very telling that Wrigley and Steven were not groomsmen, by the way, because Pippa and Lucy are clearly, like, maids of honor. So, like, because they're next to Bree. So, like,
does Evan
Bree couldn't be too fucking mad. She made Lucy her maid of honor. So, like, she must have gotten over it. Like, I don't know if maybe she releases the tape and then feels so bad because Lucy's life essentially, like, falls apart that she's like, fuck. I gotta just,
know.
like...
Something about it, I'm like... Okay, so the other thing, like, I still don't know. I don't know if Bree releases the tape. I know that's, like, a big theory that people have. I am not the one that's, like, the sleuth solving this. I don't know if it's Steven, but God, I just lost it. But what was I going to say? I was like, is it Pippa? Oh, okay, this is what I was going to say. Well, okay, wait, we'll talk about Pippa.
I wonder if we're going to say the same thing.
Well... When Bree was like, I'm such a horrible person, I was texting you, like, the second episode, I was like, she definitely kills this bitch. Like, the 17-year-old. So I
love that you were like, oh,
why did we introduce this 17-year-old, like, love affair for Oliver?
Why did we introduce Alex? Like, why are we introducing Bree's mom? Like, why are we introducing all these people?
I just wonder, like, I feel like, red herrings, like, whatever. But Oliver could have just been there, like, douchey McDoucherson, but why did, like, Bree friend this girl and, like, send like, I kind of thought maybe that she does something to either Oliver or to his, like,
and I think that's still very possible.
And that's why she's like, I'm a horrible person, and that's why she's, like, still friends with Lucy, and that's why Lucy's still friends with her, because Lucy could have been like, dude, you kind of ruined my life, like, releasing this tape. So that's all. Like,
I don't think Lucy knows.
I don't know if it's Bree.
I think Lucy doesn't know that it's Bree.
That Bree did it.
I think Lucy, because she says to Steven, like, how do I know you don't have another copy?
More copies.
Like, you don't. So I think Bree releases it, but she thinks it's Steven. But then I'm like, but why the fuck are you still hooking up with him all these years? Like, I have questions. But also she's unstable. So there's that. Does anything ever happen to Chris? I don't know. Lydia's brother.
Right. Yeah.
Because, I mean, what sucks is if that tape gets released, then it's like nobody's going to believe that Katie girl either, which I feel bad for her. Because, okay, here's my thing with Pippa. So we can clearly see in the college timeline that Pippa and Lucy are, like, not in a good place. Like, they're not friends-ish.
And I don't know why.
But in the 2015 wedding timeline, if we back up to the engagement party from the first episode, Lucy says, "Wow, it's been years." Like Pippa and Lucy have not seen each other. And Lucy even says to Max, like, "Oh, it's just me and my college friends." And he's like, "You see your college friends all the time?" She's like, "Not everyone." I think Lucy really only kept in touch with like Bree and then Evan, like by way of Bree because they were together. In the book, her and Bree are roommates in New York, and Pippa moves to California.
Okay.
So I don't know if that, I mean, like, obviously Pippa is also in New York, with Diana. But I just like do Bree and do Pippa, and then at the wedding it looks like Pippa and Lucy are like have like mended things, or at least like mindier. Like I like when she's like, "Blink twice if you need help," when Stephen comes up to her.
Yes, yeah. She was just kind of like complaining about her and was saying something. She's like, "Oh well, Lucy, blah blah." I was like, "Listen, Lucy was the one," and maybe it wasn't like the best decision to be like, "I was the one that got assaulted," but I was like, she kind of like went to bat for you and like is getting her name dragged through the mud, and like they
People
left
are peeing in a trash can outside of
her
her door.
and I was like, and everyone is like harassing her, so she did that to like help you, like.
Lucy makes questionable decisions, but they're usually from like not a bad place. Like
Right, like
people
good intentions.
hate on her a lot. She's also like, I feel like it's also easy for us to talk about this. Like I am 41 years old, right? I have a fully developed frontal lobe. None of them do. None of them have a fully developed frontal lobe. Lucy is 19. She's a baby. Okay,
like if we
like we could go back here. I made so many questionable decisions in college.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories that I could tell of like, hey, when I was 19, when I was 22, when I was 23, like.
I feel like when Charlotte is in high school, I'm going to make her watch the show as like a cautionary tale. To be like, maybe like don't date a guy like that. Because I mean, God, watching that show, I'm like, my kids are never going to college.
So toxic.
I love when I saw something on Reddit and someone's like, it's so unrealistic that these people would have a theme party every weekend. I'm like, that is actually the most realistic part of the show, is that there's a theme party every weekend.
So what's really funny is I went to Colgate, which is very close to Syracuse. And do you know the Redheads podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Redheads, like several of them went to Colgate. They were like a couple years younger than me.
Isn't
but they're like
one of them an Oshry?
Yeah, yep, yeah, Jackie. But they
I like your face.
Again, I did not really know them. A couple of the other girls like also were Colgate girls. And it's just funny.
I actually know very little about the Oshrys. I am like very out of the Oshry universe, and I know people either really love them or really don't. I actually know nearly nothing about them.
I have like no opinion. Like I listened to the Redheads, but it's just funny because they were actually talking. They're like, "Tell Me Lies," like it's so Colgate coded.
Oh,
and in this like New England like private school, like very 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 wealthy people and it's very like. But I'm sure a lot of people all across the country could be like, this was what my college experience was like. But just the New England like setting, and it's a small like.
So in the book, Baird is in California, which I think is really interesting because like Lucy and Stephen are both from Long Island, like in the show, but the show takes place the book takes place in California. And in the show, they decided to move it to New York, or like I guess upstate-ish New York, New England.
Yeah.
They're like not really specific.
It's vague.
It's like it's just we're close enough to Long Island that people drive back. And Lucy's mom drives to pick her up, so I would have to assume it's like upstate New York. Because she's like, oh, it takes 40 minutes to get back to school. I actually don't know geographically how close upstate New York and Long Island are to each other, but
so it's very funny. So if you're from like New York City or like the Long Island area, you call upstate New York like 40 minutes outside the city. But like I am like Syracuse is where I'm from. I'm like 5 or 6 hours away from New York City. That's like true upstate New York. But everybody else is like, oh, like Hudson Valley is like upstate New York. I'm like, no, like Albany, Buffalo, Syracuse. Like you have to go like up in the state, not like an hour outside the city.
Because like city. So I live in Texas.
Upstate. Yeah, you're like this is like 20 states away from me.
Well, no, I was going to tell you is I'm very fascinated by like areas like New England, because to get to another state in Texas is like I have friends who are like, oh, like I'm gonna bop over to Connecticut, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like we don't bop over to another state. I'm so far from another state. Like Texas, to get from the halfway point from Dallas to San Francisco is still in Texas. It is El Paso, Texas. That is the halfway point. Like
Wow.
the halfway point to Colorado is still Texas. Like it is like you can't leave.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. But like it's so big that I'm like the idea of all of those things being just like so because like when they're in college, Liam has an interview in New York and it's like I don't know, hour. So I'm just curious like where this is realistically. Jersey? No.
No, I
Is it
think it's
not giving
probably in New
Jersey?
York. I would guess it's like in New York and just like Hudson Valley, like a let me see like a good
So if
no,
Steven is not because like everyone else is Steven and Bree aside, everyone else is clearly from like a well-to-do family. Like Lucy's family clearly has money. Pippa's family clearly has money. Diana, Evan, maybe Wrigley. I don't know. His family life is very vague.
yeah.
How's
And
Steven
poor
paying for
Wrigley.
this? Do we think he's on a scholarship? I mean, he seems smart.
Yeah, like a need-based.
I like how
I don't
now we're
know.
like, how are they paying for
I'm like,
college? Make it make
well,
sense. Okay.
I was like, speaking of that, we can talk
I
about
was like, oh, okay, guys. We're
are
gonna
we put up? Are
shift
you?
gears to really sadness now. James Vanderbeek died, and I'm not okay about it. I was sitting at my computer working, and it came across my screen, and I was like, I literally froze for a second because I was like, that can't be right. And
I
then I was like,
know.
Dawson died.
I know,
All right,
and he was
but what?
so young. Was
48.
he four? Which, like, I mean, my husband's 45,
I'm 41. I'm almost 42.
right?
So I
Like,
mean,
that's
yeah,
not
that's no. And he has 6 kids.
6 kids, and they're not like old. They're not like high
No, I
school.
think
They're
one might be because well, I'm gonna see
on
how
the
old James.
GoFundMe. On the GoFundMe, there's a picture of all of them, and they all look youngish, like middle school.
I'm
I mean, again,
googling it.
any age is too young for your dad to pass away, but they looked little, and I was like, poor
His oldest
kiddos.
is 15.
Okay, like so sad.
Yeah, so his oldest is 15 because I saw something that she gave up her $150,000 college fund to help with his cancer treatments.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but what we're going to talk about is the GoFundMe. So I'm going to let you lead with that.
Yeah, well, I
You did
texted you and I was like,
research.
oh my gosh, did you see this? Like, this is so sad. And then I was reading like an article and they were like, the family has set up a GoFundMe. And I was like, oh. And in my ignorance, I was like, well, James Vanderbeek must just be so rich. Like, why do they need a GoFundMe? I was like, there's surely the royalties from Dawson's Creek are like enough. But
I
then,
wonder, I'm
and
going to look at that while you're talking.
I think you and I were talking, and I got kind of thinking too, like, I don't know what he was doing day to day. Like, I don't think it was a ton of acting, but like, it's not a traditional job where they're like, hey, here's your 401k and health insurance. And even if you do
Okay,
have
listen to
insurance,
this.
like experimental treatments and trials and stuff, and if they were doing like clinical trials, like a lot of times insurance is not covering that. So they might have been just paying out of pocket. So that was like me, and I was like, oh, check yourself.
So, okay, James Vanderbeek and the cast of Dawson's Creek received little to no royalties or residuals from the show's syndication and streaming, despite its massive enduring success. The actor revealed in a 2012 interview that a bad contract signed at age 20 meant he saw almost nothing in back-end profits.
But there's like, okay, this is
And initially,
there's
they
no like
started
lawyer
making
that can.
$35,000 per episode, and by the end, they were earning $175,000 an episode, which is like really not that much money.
Right.
Like comparatively, whereas you look at something like the cast of Friends, residuals are like 20-30 million per year that they're still getting on residuals because they had good lawyers, that cast of Friends, because that should be studied.
Can you not renegotiate that? Like the cast of Dawson's Creek and be like, hey,
Probably not after the fact, no. Like, I think the cast of Friends, when they went in and demanded that they all make the same amount of money and they all make $1 million an episode, which is what they were making the last like 2 or 3 seasons, they had something in there. And that was when episodes or seasons were 25 episodes, if we all remember. the good days of TV,
I was gonna say the
where we
good old
got
days.
25 episodes of a show every year and not 8. But they, I think, put in there about the royalties because it's already starting in syndication. In syndication, why this is like a weird fact, I know. Syndication rules used to be that a show had to be on the air for 5 years. If it hadn't hit 5 seasons, it did not go into syndication. That's clearly
Okay.
changed because other shows, like some other shows, have gone into syndication. But
Yes.
Friends is fucking on. You can turn the TV on any hour of the day, and Friends is on the TV on some channel. And so they're making literally, like, they could never work again and be fine for 50 lifetimes. Like, the amount of residuals, but like you look at a show like Dawson's Creek, and I don't know if similar shows have changed that, like a Gilmore Girls or things like that. Like perhaps they had different things in their contracts. I mean, Michelle Williams, Jen Lindley of Dawson's Creek went on to do, I mean, she's been nominated for like 6 Oscars. Like, girl is fine. Joshua Jackson has only gotten better with age and is cast in like every TV show now. Like people are clamoring for Joshua Jackson as their leading man. I'm like, he's been my leading man since I was 9 and saw Mighty Ducks. But I mean,
so
literally like every decade of my life, he's been my crush. So
you picked good. Okay, that's a good point. And I guess I think, I don't.
So then it's like, well, what else did he do? He did Don't Trust the Bee, which was 2 seasons. So that obviously, like, that's not streaming. I mean, that just kind of like went into the TV ether.
Did he do like Hallmark stuff, or who am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't think he did Hallmark stuff. I mean, maybe
even
he
if
did, but like,
did, that's not probably like pulling in millions and millions of dollars.
I just can't imagine he has a very, like, they had like a large net worth. And I also just read that like Friends helped them buy their multi-million-dollar farm. But somebody, I haven't looked into this much, but apparently his wife was like very problematic. I don't know if they had like some problematic like political leanings, or if it was like, and I don't personally care. Like, I don't care what individuals' political leanings are if they're not a problematic person. Like, if you're not doing anything like racist or whatever, like, I don't really give a shit what your political leanings are. Like, hence us living in a free country. Like, you do you, boo. But apparently she was like some sort of health, and like, I don't know if she was like a health guru and like did some like weird shady stuff there. Again, I don't care. I feel awful for her that she just lost her husband and the father of her 6 children. But like, I don't think the GoFundMe is that like a bad thing. Like, if that really drained them, then I'm kind of like, I mean, she's got 6 kids to take care of. Like,
and I think it was more just, you hear that like a celebrity dies, and again, like, that's on us. We look at them with these like, or at least, I can say me in the situation. I was like, well, surely you're a celebrity, like, you don't need this. But I think that was kind of, we don't know people's situations, and that's like, you don't know what's kind of like behind
the Spencer Pratt effect. Like, to circle it back from the beginning of what we were talking about, like, Spencer Pratt talks about how like, you think because somebody is a celebrity that they just have insane money. And that is just not the case with every celebrity, because so many celebrities make bad financial decisions or don't have the right people behind them when they're signing contracts and like doing these things. And they don't know. Like, you're young. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You think the money is never going to run out. Like, you're like, we're moving and grooving. Like, and Spencer says that. He's like, we were getting $100,000 to go make a nightclub appearance or this, but it does stop eventually. And with James Van Der Beek, it's like, well, if you decide to get married and move to Texas and have kids, and you're just like, I'm not gonna be an actor, I'm gonna go live this like more quiet life, even though he did Dancing with the Stars and was wonderful on it. He was so good on Dancing with the Stars. Go watch some clips, it'll just delight you. But if he's not working, then yeah, like, it's not like Dawson's Creek. I mean, it was 1998 that it started. Like, it's not, like, it's almost 30 years ago that it came out at this point.
Right. And I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's like, quote unquote, like, hit the youth the same way that, like, again, like, Friends is an iconic classic. Like, I don't even think, like, Friends is in its own category.
Yeah.
But some of these other things, like, even like a Gossip Girl that has kind of like, my stepdaughter watched that, like, that it still has like the today appeal. I don't know if Dawson's Creek is, I haven't watched, I did a rewatch when I think my first daughter was like born, so 8 years ago. And I was like pumping before I'm just going to pump and watch Dawson's Creek. But I don't know if it's like stood the test of time in terms of like will Gen Z like gravitate towards it? Like they have some of these other shows that were like hours. And
And
so maybe
Dawson's
even
Creek also, like, much like we were talking about, like, the deal, like, it wouldn't get made like that. Like, the way, like, it's a very whitewashed show. Like, there's just, like, a lot of, I don't know. Like, I don't think it would get made like that today. Like, I don't know.
I
Did
hear
you
what
know
you're
that the
saying. So you
first,
wonder, like, does it hit the same way? Like, are like teenagers watching and they're like, what is this?
I think no. I think, like, that's where something like, I think One Tree Hill, like, which was just like a few years
Ah,
later. Oh God, I love One Tree Hill.
so
I love
much.
it so much. And I am one of those very few people who, like, really even enjoyed. I, like, might enjoy the adult years more than the high school years of One Tree Hill.
James Lafferty, like, you want to talk
Talk
like
about
aging, aging
my
well.
God, that man looks better now than he did then
He-
somehow.
He's like so fine.
He's so fine. I'm sorry. I love Brooke with Julian. I don't like Chad Michael Murray. I think he's always a terrible person in everything. So I just, like, can't handle him very well, and was happy when he left the show. Like,
James Lafferty is
unpopular
like
opinion.
my heart forever.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about when you, like, look at celebrities, or I wonder if this will also be, like, more of a wake up call to celebrities of, like, oh, hey, like, I need to, like, make sure that if something happens, like,
Yeah,
is
like,
my
is my
family taken
family
care of?
set? Just like
Yeah.
us normal people do. Like when I was like Googling, somebody was like, does James Vanderbeek have health insurance? Or not health insurance, sorry. They're like, did James Vanderbeek have life insurance? And again, really none of our business. But the good news is that the GoFundMe is up to like 2.6 million last time I checked. So I
And
was like,
and we were talking about this a little before, and that's not to say that, like, other people haven't, like, privately given, or because people are like, why hasn't this celebrity? I'm like, do you think every celebrity is doing it via GoFundMe? Surely other people that were close to him have given. Like, it's probably well above the 2.6. I think people have probably, like, set up some funds for his kids, or, like, done
trusts
something
and
like
different
that.
things or college.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
I
But there
mean,
were some people, tell them who we saw. I'm
oh,
sure people
Steven
can like Google
Spielberg,
it. Yeah. And because I was on there and I was like, some people were like, it was
which
a
is, like, such a
$50,000
niche.
donation.
People were like, why would Steven Spielberg donate? I'm like, that's how I know you didn't watch Dawson's Creek, that you don't know why Steven Spielberg would donate. I don't know if they ever even met, but if you didn't watch Dawson's Creek, Dawson's character was obsessed with Steven Spielberg and, like, wanted to be Steven Spielberg essentially. So, like, it just, like, was like a weirdly, like, oh, like, Steven Spielberg donated. He
Right.
donated
Yeah.
$25,000. Is that very generous? Absolutely. Do I think Steven Spielberg could have donated $1 million and not batted an eyelash? Yes. But again, I
But you
can't,
wonder,
like,
did they ever even meet?
and that's the other, like, so it's so, like,
Like,
hard in that situation to, like, make any sort of judgments, because it's like, you just don't know. Like, you don't, I
right,
don't
because then
know.
here's the thing, if something tragic happens to every single person that was ever in a Steven Spielberg film, people would be coming out of the woodwork. She's like, "Hey,
I
I was in your
know.
movie like 12 years ago as an extra, and my like second cousin just got cancer. Like, can you help me?" Like,
That's why
so
I'm
that
like,
poor
I
guy,
can't
like,
believe that they wouldn't have
he
done
didn't,
that anonymously.
like maybe he didn't know. Is
Like,
he
it's
like,
Steven Spielberg and Kate Capshaw. Fun fact, Kate Capshaw's daughter is Arizona Robbins from Grey's
I
Anatomy.
love her.
Oh, same. I
Are
miss
you still
her.
watching Grace?
No, I can't.
No,
I
I
was a hardcore Grey's. I mean,
same.
I consistently watched it. It was after Derek died. So maybe, like, a season or two after Derek died, I was still, like, really consistently watching. And I've, like, caught an episode here and there, but I hate Owen and I hate Teddy. And so until they're fully off the show, I just don't think
You're
I
just
can watch
done.
it. But
I stopped
also, it needs
watching.
to end. Like,
It's time. I stopped watching right around COVID because I was like the COVID season. It just was like I was like I can only imagine what these healthcare
wasn't
workers are going
Meredith,
through. But
like,
like
in a COVID coma or something? Like, I feel like something
it
happened
got
to her.
so ridiculous, and I just said,
She's almost
Shonda,
died so many times.
I said it's been a good run.
Shonda,
It's
I
been
don't
a
even
great
think
run.
Shonda's involved anymore. I mean, it's her company still, but, like, but
You
she
know,
hasn't been. Hmm?
speaking
Wait.
of tragic people, I was thinking Eric Dane.
Oh my God.
I'm not okay.
I'm not okay about it. First of all, I think of all the ways to go, that might be one of the worst, where you're, like,
Uh,
very aware of your body shutting down. Like, I just, that absolutely is terrible. My God. And like he probably doesn't have that long.
No, and
It's
even
just
when he
very
did that
sad.
Diane Sawyer interview, he like did not like look good or sound good.
And now it's like even worse. Like
I
he can't
know.
walk or like talk very well.
It's
And his kids are young too. His
I
kids are like
know.
early teens, like maybe like 12 and 14 or something. His wife, I don't know if they're technically
I think
divorced, Rebecca Gayheart,
yeah.
was also on Beverly Hills 90210. Everything circles back to Beverly Hills 90210 in case
Mm,
anyone is wondering how my brain works. Okay, that was we had a lot to cover. Guys, Kailey and I are recording again in a few days. We haven't even scratched the surface. We have so much to
I
talk
know.
about. But Kailey, tell everybody where they can find you.
I am on Instagram at
You all of a sudden you were like, where can people find me?
I gotta think about this for a second. I'm on Instagram at KMC_reads. I am not always like super up to date on my posting. Sometimes I always do monthly wrap ups. But if you're like, what are you reading? What are you watching? DM me. But I also am very active on Goodreads, and the link is in my Instagram. So I'm always like, as soon
Well,
as I
and
finish a book,
I'm gonna link all of her stuff in the show notes. So her Instagram, her Goodreads, you'll be able to track her down.
beautiful. Come
She's
find
not on
me.
TikTok, y'all. She's not on
No,
TikTok.
I quit that cold turkey a couple years ago, and I said I can't go back. It's so good. But I
But
am
then
a
you end up
recovering
like
addict,
me and
so
I'm so addicted. It's so bad. I'm
oh,
really
it's
trying
so
to
wonderful. Like I get it.
it's like a weird constant hit of dopamine, and when you don't like I can't imagine quitting it cold turkey. I don't think I like that week or whatever we didn't have it. It was really hard for me. Where they like
I gave it
banned
a
TikTok for like a minute. It was terrible.
and you were not okay. I was like, check on Neely.
I was
Yeah.
on Reels and I was like, this is awful. I hate this. So, all
Like,
right. Well,
what
you
is
can
this?
find me everywhere at Neelykins except TikTok where I'm Neely Moldovan. And you can find the Smut Show everywhere at Smut Show Podcast. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.